Hey, what's up, everybody? How are we all doing? Gotta coming back with another Play Us here. Talk about a couple topics. Last of Us, I'm thinking about a little bit of Halo. A couple topics I want to talk about that, and another thing I picked up on the Steam Deck that I'm really enjoying. I'll probably finish off with that, but hope everything's going good. Hope everybody's having a good time, gaming, watching some cool stuff, and just life's being good to you. And yeah, let's jump into my first little topic that I want to talk about. Just, I know we talked about it a few times, and it's not like I'm doing full reviews of the episodes or anything like that, but we have this is from episode 5, and I'm hoping that if you were watching this, that was a couple weeks ago now at that point. Um, I'm recording this before episode 7, I believe. Hoping I have my numbers all here mixed up. I think it's episode 7. Um, this is, I mean, the episode 5 I think was probably the best episode in the series. Actually, I enjoyed that episode. Well, I've watched it twice already. Now, not being a like fan, like a huge fan of the game. I mean, I guess saying not being a fan. I mean, I'm a fan of the game, never really playing the game, and just watching the show, being a fan of the show more than the game. This was really freaking cool. This is a good episode all the way around. Um, I I enjoyed the connection that Joel and Ellie had um, with Sam and Henry. I Yeah, I was kind of confused there for a second, but I believe it's Sam and Henry. But I thought that was cool. I thought how they're trying to sneak out of the city and stuff like that. The whole time I was waiting, I was like, oh, is something going to be in the tunnels? Like that whole episode was really good. And then when it gets to that freaking giant action scene at the end of it with the bloater, that was sick. And like that was a really good episode. And then obviously the ending. And I talked with one of my buddies. I guess that's pretty damn close to how it happens in the game. So with the ending scene with Sam and Henry, which I was like, oh wow. At first I was like, oh, it's gonna be kind of cool having a couple sidekicks for a little while, but that clearly ended very very poorly for them. Um, the next episode after this one was the one, I think it's like 3 months later, and they're traveling to still try to find Joel's brother, and they end up finding him, which was cool. That was a cool little episode. It's obviously slower, and then it was definitely very like the community they had built up was sick. Like that was definitely like next level. And I mean I understand why they're super protective of it. Like it makes sense why they would be. But then I guess I'm still kind of confused on the whole Ellie. Like I thought she had the virus, but I guess or the fungus I should say, not a virus. I thought she had the fungus, but that's why she tested on the red on that. But apparently she doesn't because the dog didn't know. Like that part threw me off a little bit. I don't know if that's like something that happens in the game or not, or what the story with that is. But um, that was cool. That was like okay, maybe the dogs aren't such a good um sense of this because if she has it in her and the dog didn't smell it. But I mean, I'm sure there's some reason I'm not seeing. And then um like back to said like like all like having movies and like freaking houses and stuff. That's really cool. They built that whole city up like that, and then I was like, "There's no freaking way that this show is gonna go on and Tommy's gonna take Joel." I was thinking like if that's the case, like Tommy's gonna get killed or something, but clearly nope, it wasn't that. He just Joel decides to get back in the fight and just continue bringing her, and they go to the university, and I was like, "Oh wow, there's no way they're already gonna find him." Clearly, again, not. And then the episode ends where he gets stabbed, except not knowing what's going to happen from, like I said, not playing the games. I know from like stuff that I've heard from the video games, I know he makes it at least to the second game. I know I've heard his fate in the second game, so I know he's going to make it out of this at some point. So, but like I said, it's interesting. Definitely shows really really good. Like I give Sony major props that this show is as good as it is. I'm seriously like freaking like I said, I'm enjoying it. The wife's enjoying it. She's not the biggest fan of like monsters and stuff like that movies, so like she was like, I could do without the zombie creatures, that's what she calls them, I was like, the clickers? And she's like, yeah. She's like, it would be a really good show even without them. I'm like, I mean, I think it'd be okay show, but I think that's that fear of those and that being like the apocalypse because of that is like what also adds the tension to it. But again, she's enjoying it, so it's cool. It's cool to actually sit back and enjoy like I guess a monster type show with her, which is different. We don't always get. Um, but yeah, I said definitely it's still on the up and up. Hopefully, episode 7 is going to keep the momentum going forward. It looks like it's going to be a flashback scene. It must be how Ellie gets um her infection. I'm assuming that I'm just guessing. Could be completely wrong on that, but that's what it looked like. Because I remember saying something about the mall, and that's how she got it with a friend, and that looks like what they are. So, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking of The Last of Us. Don't really have too much more to say. Let me know what you guys are thinking on it. You guys enjoying it still? Like I said, I don't think I've heard any bad things about it. It's definitely been enjoyable. So, but next up we got the HCS event is currently ongoing right now. Like I am recording this on a Saturday, right before the second day of broadcasted stuff starts. That's the results from the first day. Um, I tried to catch as many games as I could yesterday. On Friday, I was working obviously for the beginning of the day, and then we had stuff going on, so I was picking it up and catching it on my phone. Um, and now I used to be like growing up, I was a huge Walshy fan. Like I was that. We're all that. Like I'm that same age. Like that was he was the guy. Him and the ogres were like the guy back then with Final Boss, and like just they were the beast. So once Walshy retired, I started following Snipe Down as like my go-to guy, and then now that he's retired, I've been following Renegade. So I guess I'm a FaZe Clan fan by default. So if it's gonna sound biased, but they are looking damn good. I'm thinking I'm thinking they're gonna continue their train that they're doing. They're gonna upset Optic. And it should be FaZe and Optic in the grand finals. I'd be shocked if it's any other two teams. But Space Station, the former Cloud9 team, they are, they show up at LAN events. So there's a chance that they do upset one of those teams. I just don't see any reality where FaZe isn't in the top two. You know what I mean? Like even if the space isn't Space Station upset, I feel like it's Optic that doesn't make the grand final. But I mean, that's why they play the game. That's why they play the matches. Could be wrong. If you're a fan of competitive Halo, this season has been really good. It wasn't just like last year where it started off with Cloud9 and walking away with it, then Optics started slowly taking over. Like the matches have been really freaking good. Like I mean, obviously there's two teams that seem like they stand up above, but even like the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth teams, like it could fluctuate. Like it seriously can. Um, but I'm looking forward to some matches today. I know Sentinels, they're playing Cloud9. Like currently as we're speaking, it's not broadcast, which I don't understand why they're not broadcasting everything. Whatever. I don't have the I guess it's not for me to decide. But all the bottom ones that say 0-0, they actually played through um, what they call open bracket yesterday, and they qualified to get into pool play. So they're going to have to play all those teams today to decide where they're going to be in the upper or lower bracket. Top two teams from each pool make it to the upper, which means they can lose one series and still be in the tournament. And then lower, you lose one series and you're out. So should be interesting. Should be some good Halo. Like I said, if you're a fan of Halo, you're a fan of competitive Halo, or you're just a fan of competitive things, definitely check it out. If you haven't already, and go back watch the VODs. I'm sure they'll be on the Halo channel. They got like 3 or 4 different ones, and they got LTV Halo. They're uh, they're really big. They're like a grassroots campaign type people, and they're doing really good things. Another thing, if you like any competitive Halo news information like that, why not be casting is freaking amazing for all that stuff. I watch most of his videos. He has like all the insights. He's usually got a lot of information on scrims. He knows a lot of people, so there's good inside information there. But like I said, it's definitely something enjoyable to watch. And if you're a fan of Halo 2, if you watch these, you get drops for it in game. So that's another plus for watching this stuff. But yeah, hopefully, not to sound biased, but go FaZe. Uh, hopefully they pull it all out. Next, staying on the topic of the good old Halo, they dropped the trailer too for season 3 of Halo Infinite. It looks like this actually looks like they finally did a really good freaking trailer. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not uh I feel like it's got a little more to it. It's got a little more bite to it. And obviously they're showing some of the stuff that's gonna be in the game. They've got the new maps, there's 3 new maps coming out. This is gonna be that shout screen. It's kinda like a smoke grenade if you really want to think about it. It's gonna be good for like maybe like trying to block off like objectives and stuff like that. And that's the new bandit rifle. I know B Dog's excited to get his hands on that thing. He's worried about the bloom on it, but I think he's gonna be. I think he's gonna be fine. I don't think he's gonna be too upset about it, from what I've heard and what people have said to them playing with it. And then hopefully we get to see a little more of it in action on Sunday, which is tomorrow. I'm recording this, but it'll by the time this comes out, it already happened. They're gonna be playing some season 3 stuff on stream, and they're doing gun game, but as in Halo, they call it Escalation Slayer. They're bringing that back, so there's definitely some new things. And then obviously with the best part about it is the season. It's going to finally get to seasonality. It's not going to be as long a season, so we're going to be getting stuff. I am curious though to see what they're going to do. I kind of hope that they keep the story that they're trying to build with the multiplayer. I want a little more. You know what I mean? Like if you're only gonna do a little bit, then why even try? That's how I guess it's probably bad to say, but like I want to see more to the story too. Like, you know what I mean? Like, keep building on it, but it looks good. Looks like they're really going for it on this. They, I, like, it's gonna seems like that banished AI that took over his Mjolnir is like communicating with him, and he's still all messed up in his head. I can't tell if he's having flashbacks, visions. It seems like maybe a little bit of both. But yeah, it looks like very good potential across the board for this. New weapons, new maps, new weapon, new maps, um, and a little bit more story DLC. And then I know some people aren't liking the what's going to be like the special armor for this one, where they're going to do in the events for. But I'm not gonna lie, I'm a fan of the Crisis games too, and it looks like it's gonna be like it kind of looks like a Crisis armor. So it should be a good time. It should be pretty interesting. Should be it gets. I mean, I haven't stopped playing, so I've been excited for the game since it came out. But I'm really looking forward to season 3 getting up here March 7th. So by the time you're watching this, it should be pretty damn close to coming out. So yeah, and then probably the last thing I'm going to talk about today is something that I picked up for the Steam Deck, and I love it. This thing is I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but Batocera is how I've been pronouncing it. Um, it's a well, you could download it onto from what I understand, onto this like your Steam Deck like locally, but I have a micro SD card. It has like 20,000 freaking games on it, or something ridiculous like that. Games from like all the way back to like ColecoVision, Ataris, all the way up to a decent amount of PlayStation 1 games and a few PlayStation 2 games, but it's got like Game Boy games, PSP, like it's got a crap load of freaking games. Now, I go back to my nostalgia era with like the N64, the Super Nintendo, even some Dreamcast stuff, and like the Game Boy stuff. But and I got this too because my wife, she's not a big gamer, and I think I've talked about that before, but she does like some of that old stuff. So we got it. I got us 2 controllers. You can dock your Steam Deck. I have it docked to our TV. We can both sit there playing old co-op games and stuff like that. My cousin, who I know usually watches some of these, uh, Brooke, he came over and he wanted to check it out, and he was playing. There was a game that we used to play at our grandmother's house back when we were younger called uh, San Francisco Rush 2049, and it's like a car racing game. And he was like, it doesn't have it, and I was like, I'm pretty sure I saw it, so I got it. And he frickin' was playing that. He was having a hell of a time. Like, it's definitely fun. It plays well on the TV and it plays well on the Steam Deck itself. So if you have a Steam Deck and you can download all this stuff, or I took the easy way, I went and bought one. But if you have a Steam Deck and you like classic games and you want a library of classic games that are just right there, you can. This has 100% my approval rating. Like this is if I had to go back to the old rating that we used to do on the podcast, this is 2 out of 2 Hollies. Still recommend. Um, but this is it was definitely good. I can't wait for like whenever B Dog him if he ever comes flies back over. There's a game him and I used to play on the PlayStation called Fighting Force. Um, it's like just a sides. It was like it's like a beat 'em up game and stuff like that. Uh, that I can't wait to throw some co-op on that and for us to rock that stuff. And there's a couple other co-op games too that I kind of want to play with them on there too that we played growing up. But the games library on this thing is crazy. You can look into more detail on it and check it out too. But I recommend definitely taking a look at this, take a peek at it. But yeah, so yeah. Besides that though, guys, I hope everybody's doing good. I hope you guys are all having a great time. You guys are playing and watching and doing all the stuff you want to do. And yeah, but besides that, I hope you guys have a good one. I'll catch you in the next one.